What's going on, Dragon Ball Z fans? The Saiyan Brotherhood is back once again. UnrealEntGaming, the COD Brothers Gaming, here today bringing you guys our top 5 all-time heroes from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Now, first and foremost, we will say that our lists are going to differ. We obviously have made a video prior to this, our top 5 most dangerous villains in Dragon Ball history, and of course, right now we're presenting our heroes towards you. So, again, these are just our opinions. If you guys have a different top 5 list, comment down below on what they are. So, beginning with number 5 on the list, we're going to be rotating myself, and then Paul's going to go. So, number 5 on my list on the top heroes in Dragon Ball would have to be Vegeta. Now, Vegeta, to me, I don't think would go the distance to do anything for anybody, unless, of course, it's for either Bulma or Trunks, because they have a connection with him. They've obviously have gotten to know him better than anybody in an essence. So I think if Vegeta were to sacrifice himself, it'll only be for those two. I don't think Vegeta would ever sacrifice himself for anyone other than those two. Perhaps maybe Goku, because he cares enough for Goku to try to surpass him in life, and he needs him in order for him to, become stronger and get and push further in life. So I think on my list, Vegeta is number 5 because he's an arrogant asshole. He's obviously very prideful, but of course, when certain situations happen to happen, I think Vegeta would more than likely step up to the plate. So for me, I think Vegeta would rank in at number 5 for being a hero. He hasn't made any sacrifice that was just mind-boggling to anyone, other than the fact that when he blew himself up in the name of Goku, Trunks, and Bulma. So for me, it's Vegeta. Who is number 5 on your list, Mr. Paul?
On my list, it would be Gotenks.
Okay, why Gotenks? This is interesting.
Well, his design is also pretty badass. His character design, you gotta admit that. On top of that, the fact that his personality and everything is probably the way I would have been as a kid if I had Super Saiyan powers. I felt like they perfectly captured that. The amount of fun you'd have as a Super Saiyan flying around the world. Yes, the irresponsibility is part of it, but at the same time, I think that having that much power at a young age and wanting to, even though they wanted to drag out the battles, I still say that it was still a fun time and a fun hero, I guess.
So number 5 on your list is Gotenks. Any particular Saiyan form?
Probably Super Saiyan. Or even his base form, actually. I like his base form the most because of the purple hair.
Alright, so Gotenks in his base form is number 5 on your list. So we have Vegeta for myself, and we have Gotenks for you. So going into number 4 on the list for me, of course, would be Adult Gohan. I think Adult Gohan would be a very noble person to sacrifice himself for his family. I think that his traits, he's a very humble kid, obviously because of Chi-Chi, because he needs to get on his studies and he needs to become a very reliable person. Obviously, he has that fighter mentality, but he remains to be humble. Therefore, I mean, especially when he fought Broly, when Broly was going to pretty much launch that attack at Videl and Goten, he pretty much launched the attack right back into the atmosphere, creating a shield, pretty much taking most of the damage for himself, and just, sparing Goten and Videl from, further harm. So, and then on top of that, when we saw Videl fight Spopovich, he wanted to get in there and completely break his face, but he couldn't because obviously the Supreme Kai had a plan, and they told him not to do it, and literally he was going to go out there and save her life, but he couldn't because the Supreme Kai froze him right then and there, and they told him not to do anything, of course. So, and then on top of that, we have Gohan, who pretty much took that blast from Majin Buu, and he was pretty much trying to save the Supreme Kai's life. So he pretty much fought to keep a lot of people alive, and I think that makes Gohan very noble. So on number 4's list, I would have to say Gohan. So who is number 4 on your list?
Mine is probably going to be Vegeta. Because
Vegeta. Okay, why Vegeta?
Vegeta.
Alright, why Vegeta?
Simply because he had the most character development in the show out of everyone, and I think he had like a really realistic arc. I mean, he was very confused and conflicted as a character, but him changing into a good guy and everything really changes up. And on top of that, his work ethic, the way he worked for all of his goals, no matter what, and every time he saw a power level above his, he was like, that's the new level, that's the new goal. I'm going to work non-stop for that and try to surpass that. Even though he was trying to compete with Goku while Goku was dead and had a ki boost and all of that stuff, he still managed to somewhat keep up.
So number 4 on your list is Vegeta. So any particular form of Vegeta, or is it just regular Vegeta?
Majin
Vegeta
yes.
is your hero for number 4.
Yes.
Okay, very
So,
interesting.
he's conflicted. He's a conflicted hero because he did turn around and end his life in a heroic way.
Very, very interesting. All right, so our lists differ from there. Going into I believe it's number 3. So number 3 on my list personally is none other than Mr. Piccolo. Piccolo has proven himself to be more than noble, saving Gohan's life plenty of times. The guy has a very personal and deep connection with the people that he's with. When he was evil King Piccolo, he did not care about anyone else, about anybody except for himself. And I think with that, he grew over time to accept everyone, to love everyone deep down inside, especially Gohan. And if you go back to when they fought the Saiyans, when Piccolo took that attack from Nappa, he pretty much killed himself. Like he got killed to save Gohan's life. Same thing applies when they fought Frieza. Piccolo literally was out there trying to save Krillin, Vegeta, and Gohan's life. Even the same logic applies to when he fought. It's when Gohan fought Cell. He told Goku, he was like, he's just an 11-year-old boy. I am not going to stand here and watch this little kid just get killed over your fight. This is your fight, not his fight. So literally, Piccolo is absolutely noble to the highest degree, and therefore I would have to say number 3 on my list because he literally, and even going back to when he fought, when the fighters fought Broly, when Gohan was on the verge of pretty much getting killed, he was there to help him. He was there to save him. So Piccolo comes through when he needs to come through. So Piccolo is on my list. Who is on your top 3? Number 3.
3 for me, it would be Teen Gohan.
Teen Gohan. Okay, why?
And the reason why is because he was also a very conflicted character in the fact that he wanted to fight to stop the fighting. And a lot of people hated him when he grew up because he stopped training, but at the same time, that's what he wanted. He didn't want to fight anymore. He wanted to put this to an end because what was the point of training for another conflict if he knew that there was always going to be another problem? If you knew that your loved ones are always going to be at risk? If you knew that we're fighting for just the sport of fighting or just stopping another generic enemy from coming and killing the people that you love? I felt like he had the most emotion in his fighting and the most reasonability, even though people hated him for that. And the most power. I mean, he unleashed all of that power and became the strongest at that point. And he basically unleashed it not through training, but from being pushed to the edge and unleashing his emotions. So I felt like that was like the noblest cause, and power did come in response to his need to stop all the fighting. So that's my top third.
So we got Teen Gohan and Piccolo ranking in at number 3. Number 2 on my list is none other than Mr. Future Trunks, man. Now, some people might give this guy a lot of, crap. Future Trunks literally went out of his way to not only change the future, but change the past as well. Literally, he did not want to conflict and tarnish his father's pride when he fought Cell. Therefore, I mean, he obviously he needed to save his father, but he did it in a way to where, Vegeta didn't know that Trunks is more powerful than he was because that would damage his pride. But at the same time, Trunks did more than enough to fight off the androids in his time when they were there, saving his mom, catering to Gohan. Even when he was a kid and his master Gohan died, he was right there by his side. Even though he did not have the power to stop the androids, he kept fighting. He kept fighting knowing that one day he could possibly die, but he still stood there on the battlefield, like just making sure that, all was well and that something could be done to change the cause and effect of what was going on. And, to me, I don't think Trunks is a loser at all. I think Trunks is the embodiment of what hope is because he came to the past for a glimmer of hope that hopefully the future can be changed. And I think Trunks, if it comes down to that point, would sacrifice himself to literally just, make sure that his time and the people around him are saved. And he even told I believe it was the androids or it was Cell that he was willing to take, them out with the responsibility and the cost of his life at risk. So for me, it would have to be Future Trunks. So who is number 2 on your list?
Real quick, you tell them your number 1 because my number 1 and 2 are going to go hand in hand.
Well, let's just say number 2 for now because our number 1s are going to be very interesting.
Well, my number 2 is Goku.
Okay. Very interesting. Why Goku at number 2?
Alright, so Goku, whenever he shows up on camera or on the scene, there's something in our psychological, that's been stored in our subconscious that's like, every time you see him, he's the hope of the universe. When he's there, you feel safe. Like everyone there can remain calm because he's the one that's going to protect everyone. No matter what you see in Dragon Ball Z, as soon as he appears, he's the hero and he has us all protected. So for that reason, he that's why he's number 2 for me. But the fact that he is number 1 is because how many villains has he actually killed?
Well, here's the thing. So you're saying that Goku's number 2 and Trunks is number 2 on my list because on my list for number 1 is Goku. So I'm pretty sure
Mine is future Trunks.
Okay, so we have a little bit of a switch here. All right, so you're saying that, Goku never really did as much to save, I guess you could say, the lives around him.
Technically, Goku did the least out of all the other Saiyans, out of Trunks, Vegeta, and Gohan, because technically, the only villain that he technically killed was Kid Buu, but he used everyone's energy, and it was Vegeta's idea. Gohan killed Cell. Trunks killed Mecha Frieza. Not only did he kill Mecha Frieza, he killed King Cold, Android 17, Android 18, and Cell.
Well, for me, the reason why I would have to say Goku's number 1 on my list is because straying away from the whole kill ratio, I think it's Goku's willpower to sacrifice himself in the name of keeping everyone else alive. Now, what I mean by that is he always, no matter what, even if everyone is beat down, he's going to get right back up and he's going to continue to fight you until literally there's nothing left. Obviously, for certain situations, like for Cell, I think that he knew and he wanted to give someone else a chance to be a hero for once. That obviously, like just given the circumstance that he kind of gave up against Cell, that doesn't really mean that he wasn't going to sacrifice himself to keep everyone else alive, because he did. When Cell was going to blow himself up, he sacrificed his life, something that he didn't really have to do, to keep everyone else alive, even though it kind of backfired because Cell has regeneration cells and he was able to come back because just one nucleus survived. Goku, just straying away from the whole generic Superman kind of ordeal. Goku, when it comes down to the nit and gritty, I think would put his life on the line to just go out of his way to just, save the people around him. I don't think Goku cares too much about dying because...
Yeah, because there's always something good for him over there.
Exactly. So like
that's the opposite with Trunks.
He expects the worst, but he hopes for the best for the people around him and the people that he fights to protect.
I don't know, man. He when he died, he was like, okay, I'm just gonna go train happily for 7 years and come back even stronger one day. But Trunks went back to the nightmare that he came from. Not only did he give up his life, his childhood, and everything, he gave up his own future to protect the world in a dark, gritty future where there's nobody left. Goku, everything's happy and peaceful. Trunks, everything is shit, and it's always been hopeless. And even when he tried to help them out by going to the past, something always came out of nowhere that constantly tried to beat him down and destroy his hope.
Well, you also have to remember, not to cut you off, you also have to remember that the fact that Trunks' time isn't with the present characters. His time is in the future because the only person that he has there is Bulma. I mean, if you think about it, all he really has is his mom, and that's where he belongs because that's where he was born and raised. That's his generation. That's his timeline. That's where he's from. He doesn't really belong in the past. So, like, for example, if he were to stay in the past, I think that would conflict with the whole ordeal of him going back and visiting his mom, because he didn't have to go back and visit her technically after he came by to deliver the message, but he still went back because he wanted to take care of her and he wanted to make sure that everything was okay. And you're right, Trunks would go out of his way to just, sacrifice a lot to keep the people around him alive. But then again, I think that Goku would do just as much, if not more, because when Trunks gave up against Cell, he pretty much gave up against him and that was it. He didn't fight him again. When Goku gave up and the circumstances were very high, he jumped in there and he sacrificed himself to make sure that, whatever Cell was going to do had no effect on the people around him.
I think if Trunks had the ability, he would have. But at the same time, with Trunks, we're talking about him again. His mentality, Goku, he spends most of his time training.
Right.
While Trunks spent most of his life in fear and being tortured mentally. I feel like him coming back from all of that and still managing to stay as a pure-hearted hero, I feel like that's why he's number 1 for me. He withstand much more mentally than Goku did, and in some cases, Vegeta's even pointed out that Goku's very ignorant to some of these things, and I don't know. That's why Goku would be number 2 and Trunks would be number 1 for me.
Well, that's our top 5 for our heroes, everybody. Let us know down below on what your top 5 list actually is. Repeating mine, obviously, from 5 to 1, I have Vegeta, I have Mr. Adult Gohan, Piccolo, Future Trunks, and Goku. Paul, what was your list?
Mine was Gotenks, Vegeta, Teen Gohan, Goku, and then Trunks.
Let us know down below, guys, on your top 5 list, and also why you guys selected your top 5 list, because we gave you guys our reasons onto why we selected the characters that we selected. So let us know down below. Once again, everybody, thank you all for watching. If you guys are Dragon Ball fans, don't forget to subscribe for all this news, information, and updates. If you guys enjoyed the top 5 discussion, don't forget to smash that like button. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Stay tuned for more, because we have more discussions in top 5 ideas and plans for you guys later down the road. So once again, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll be seeing you all in the next discussion. Take it easy, guys. Peace.